Here's the opener. Oh, we're Kirby's. Look at that. That's been like that for like an hour. I thought they would fall over by now. I'm surprised, honestly. Welcome, friends. LostScarf here, and it's time for a vlog, and we'll see how well this goes, because, these vlogs, sometimes there's multiple takes to them, and the reason for that is because I want to word things better, and not be so rambly, and just do what I'm arguing better. That's basically it. It's like first draft, second draft, third draft, final draft. You know, that's what's happened, and that's what's happening here. I've been doing this for an hour, so oh my god, I'm thirsty. Drink water later. We just started. Okay, so first up is the vlog. Resident Evil 2. Oh my god, I forgot. Oh, hardcores and Smash Brothers. Those are the three LPs right now. After the hardcores were there as a break from voice LP, but they're gonna get replaced with Metro Exodus. That's what's gonna replace that one, and then eventually Resident Evil 2 probably get replaced by voice LP. The reason for that is I just want to keep being current with something, and Metro Exodus is the next current game. Anthem comes out at the same time. I don't have faith in it. People saying the demo's great, but it is EA. People really like the demo for Star Wars Battlefront 2, so we'll see what happens here. Like, I've gotten my heart broken too many times with Destiny attempts here, so if it's really great, people can tell me, then we'll see if we're going to cover it or not, or if we just play for fun, we'll see. But for now, Metro Exodus is going to be the game we play for February. There's going to be other games in the future, for sure, but I'm not sure what they all are. I don't even know if Cyberpunk's going to come out this year, so I'll ask this on the Discord as well. What are games coming out this year that we should be looking forward towards, and so that we can schedule around them and see what we might want to cover? Please let us know. That would really be helpful for sure. Like, I know The Outer Worlds should be coming out this year. That's another one. That's when people made Fallout New Vegas. So that's something to look forward to. I believe it comes out this year. There's a lot of things. Also, apparently Journey might come out this year. So if that comes out, definitely going to cover that for sure. We will see how that all goes, though. But definitely, if there's anything you see coming forward, let us know. Other things happening LP-wise, not LP-wise, indie-wise, I'm trying to get back into indies very slowly but surely. I'm going to be gone for the weekend, so there's no movie fighting or any of that stuff. I'm going to be at the Super Bowl in Vegas. Should have worded that differently. In Vegas, I'm going to be at a Super Bowl party. It's going to be a penthouse suite and all that stuff. There's going to be people with 10 times the amount of money I have, people with millions of dollars. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know how I'm going to talk to these people. But like, oh, hey, that Tom Brady, huh? Yeah, that's kind of thing, I guess. It's because my dad, you know, he knows how to talk and get invited to nice things. So that's what's happening on Sunday. So no streams until maybe Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'd say Tuesday most likely. And so that's what's gonna happen there. And so yeah, no Amoeba fight next week, and we'll have Amoeba fight and all that stuff. I think it's all the channel things. Oh, we got a copy of War Group, so we'll take a look at that game, see about doing a one-shot on that. A couple other games I might do one-shots on. And we'll see. And also maybe port reports. There's some indies getting ported to Switch, and we'll see about that. So there's a topic I want to talk about, and that topic has to do with, I realize it centers around two things. It centers around redemption and becoming better, and how the internet's just stuck in the past. Never lets you redeem, from what I can tell, and that's a frustration. The other one is moral superiority, and how we use that to be the most venomous we can be. And I feel like that's human nature. I really do. And it's something we could all do better about. And they come together a bit, but they also come apart a little bit, because they're kind of two different things. Because one is outrage culture. Well, okay, outrage culture is a bunch of these things. Outrage culture is people looking at the past of someone and getting really mad about that. So many years later. That's one. And then outrage culture, it gives people moral superiority so they can use it to be as venomous as they want to be. And there's a reason for that, for different reasons. Some people, they got bullied, so they want to be the bully. Some people, crappy things happen to them, so they want to be able to do crappy things. And it's not always conscious. Sometimes it's just an instinct, something that gets done. And it's a balance that we do, honestly. It's something that happens to us, and I've talked about this like years ago, and that is, a balancing within our morality. And that's what they found with when they did studies with, like, in San Francisco with people who owned hybrids. They found people who owned hybrids more likely to do those would you take the money or whatever kind of situations, and those with hybrids had a higher percentage than just regular people. And what they found is just because the idea was if they have a hybrid, that gives them some more superiority in this way, so they're crappy in another way to balance it out. And that's what they found in psychology. And it's also something you'll notice with, and maybe with yourself, you see someone bending the rules. You see someone just getting away with some BS. And so you yourself will get away with some BS in some other way, or bend the rule too, or just do whatever, because it feels fair. If all these other people are abusing something, you're going to probably want to abuse it too, or abuse something else that gives you an equivalent, so it's fair. It's what we do. We try to make things fair to our own morality, whether it's good or bad, because it's just something we do. It's a weird instinct we have, and I've seen it many times in myself and in others, and it's just kind of nuts. And so these are the things I'm kind of annoyed about and want to talk about, and just shine a little light on it and give us a thought to maybe check ourselves. And the hard part is checking others, because, no one wants to be checked on, they get checked. Everyone is very defensive about that. Sometimes to the point that they do really dumb things when they try to defend themselves on something. And so let's talk about outrage culture first a little bit. And that is, the thing that set me off, and this could have been some other thing, because it'll happen again in the future for sure. What set me off right now is what happened with Kevin Hart. So, recently, Jussie Smollett, I forget if it's a W or an M, he got horribly beaten in Chicago. They're still investigating it, but what's come out is he got horribly beaten in Chicago. Two white supremacist dudes were said homophobic things to him, racist things to him. They said it was MAGA country. They tied a rope around his neck. They did horrible things. They threw bleach on him. They did all these horrible things. It's at the point that some people are wondering if this is real or not, and other people are like, holy crap, that's awful. And so, right now they're still investigating it, so there's a lot of ambiguity about it. But with that happening, Kevin Hart comes out, he's on Twitter, he's just saying, thoughts and prayers and all that stuff. It made him really sad what happened to Jussie Smollett. And a bunch of people attacked Kevin Hart over that. They're like, this is why you should never have made those anti-gay jokes. This is, save your tears, save your feelings, save all that stuff. And just a bunch of people just basically cancel culture on Kevin Hart. And my problem with that is they're attacking him on jokes he made years ago. And if you don't know the full thing on this, years ago Kevin Hart did jokes, anti-gay jokes. That's what he did. And that's not great, of course. But years later, he apologized. And he's heading towards being a better person. And here's the thing. There are things in all of our past that are not great, that if we got a chance to apologize for them, we probably would. And we would try to grow better from that. We all have stupid things in our past. That was his stupid thing in his past. And he's already apologized for it. But people went after him over it because he was going to get a chance to become the host of the Oscars. A lot of people went after him for it. A lot of LGBT people went after him for it. That didn't go well. Kevin Hart was like, I'm not going to apologize. I've already apologized. And that didn't go over well for him at all. So that whole thing happened. It was all people who felt moral superiority. They were very venomous towards him. And here's where it got weird is Ellen, who is a big LGBT ally considering, she's a big one. She's also a very nice lady. She has him on her show and they talk about it and everything. And LGBT people attacked Ellen over it. I'm like, if you attack Ellen, if Ellen's the bad guy to you, I don't think you're on the right side of things. I really do not. And so, and this is how allies become enemies with each other. Because it's very much an all or nothing thing. Ellen's giving Kevin Hart space to talk about it and everything, and they went after Ellen. And there's a problem is we cannot be all or nothing. We really cannot. When we do this, everything gets ruined. And yet that's what they were doing. They were going after Ellen because she was giving him a chance to talk. And it's just, that's ridiculous. It really is. I really don't think Kevin Hart was in the wrong because he's already apologized for it. He's already grown as a human being, and yet they're holding him accountable to what he used to be. It's not like he raped people. It's not like he murdered people. These were homophobic jokes, which are not great. Not at all. But what the hell? These are things we can learn from and become better about, and that's what happened there. But you know what? Actual homophobic people, actual people who really are anti-LGBT, They see that attack on Kevin Hart, and they're using that as just more reasoning to just hate LGBT. This is not helping the LGBT, I feel. It really does not. It just gives us more of a light on the worst parts of it and gives fuel to just the worst parts against it. It really does, in my opinion. Earlier was this whole outrage culture as well with James Gunn. That was another one that set me off, where people on the far right were using his old really dumb jokes he made to be a shock kind of guy. He was doing shock jock kind of jokes, and that was like 10-something years ago, and he apologized years later, but they used that and they weaponized outrage culture to get him fired from Disney. That's what happened there. And that's a terrible thing, and that's a terrible thing that's going to happen more, is the weaponization of outrage. And that worries me, because it's just going to be people getting hit for things that they have worked out of years later. And that's unfortunate. There is, of course, current outrage culture, things that people do now. Yeah, I understand they're not growing right now. They're doing really dumb things. I get that. I get being annoyed about that. I get wanting to make change in the now of something. But going after the past of someone means people cannot grow and become better people. That's what that says. And if we cannot be allowed to grow and become better people, what is the point of growth? What is the point of becoming better when it won't change anything if we were just shitty our entire lives then? That's what that says to me. And that's frustrating, because I want to believe in redemption. I want to believe that people can become better, because that's what I always argue about. If you watch these vlogs for years, you know that the thing I want at the end of the day is, I always say, we're being really crappy, but we could be better. And I make that argument over and over and over again over the years. And that's what I want. I think we could all be better. I know I could be better. There are things I did in high school that were really dumb. I know I made homophobic jokes. I know I made racist jokes. I say really dumb things throughout my life. And there are plenty of instances where I wish I didn't do that, because I'm like, well, that was really crappy of me. I was not a good person in those times. And there's instances of high school, instances in college, instances this and that. Like, throughout your life, there are things that you did not like about yourself that you grew from and became better. That is things. Even the crappy, no, I shouldn't say that way. Some people are just crappy and they just get crappier. That's just what happens. I suppose that's what incels are. Some people are really crappy and they redeem themselves. Some people start out really well and then they get crappier because maybe the world just made them worse. Or maybe just whatever, they just got worse for whatever reasons. Maybe the balancing got bad for them. People become great or awful because of themselves, because of the world around them, because of many factors. None of us are islands. And so this is why I want to talk about it, is maybe someone in the viewership is just being crappy, and maybe they'll think about it and not be as crappy. That's the whole idea behind it, is like, we should check ourselves sometimes when we get morally outraged, when we just want to do something venomous and bad. And now talk about that. Moral superiority. When you're on what you think is the good guy side of an outrage, you do some awful things. And even if you're not in it, you just look at supporters of some outrage thing, you just see so much venom. You see so much anger, so much hatred. And it's just awful. For me, it's frustrating. It's so extremely frustrating to see that. Because these moments could be a learning thing for a lot of people. Instead, it is just someone beating someone to death with words, basically, or even actions at times. It's a torrent of many people waging hate. So much venom happening, and it's just not making things better. All it does is put people more in their sides, makes people more angrier, and just makes things a fever pitch, and it's not good. This has probably been my entire life when it comes to politics. It's very rare to see civil discussion, at least on the internet. Now, when it comes to more personal things, when it's friends talking about political things and they're on the other opposite sides, usually they got the respect for each other not to flip the hell out at each other. Unless it's something that's really core and they just, like abortion. Like, some people, they're very much about that, and so if you're anti that, it will not go very well. Well, I mean, pro-life and pro-choice, like those you can still have friends that are on both sides of it, but some people are just so aggressive about it. Like, for me, of course, it'd be like vaxxing. So if I have an anti-vaxxer friend, I don't want to be their friend. Simple as that. Simple as that, because that is a huge thing for me as a biologist. That is a huge thing for me. I could not be a friend with someone who's an anti-vaxxer. Or at the very least, like, I have people I work with who are anti-vaxxers, and I just nod, because I don't, like, I'm going to be working with them for 20, 30 years. I just nod and then move on. If they were a friend, I would just give them shit and then get out of it. Like, I'd probably just get out of it. Like, don't want confrontation anymore at this point. They're just stupid to me, and I'll just have a different friend. Like, that's it. Simple as that. Here's an example. Trolls. Everybody hates trolls. Unless you're a troll, then you don't hate trolls. Unless the trolls are trolling you better than you're trolling other people. When I was younger, for damn sure, I hated trolls. At this point, I'm just over it. But I hated trolls so much that I wished cancer and death and all these things upon these trolls. I wish these terrible things. Those are just terrible thoughts to have. Those are terrible things to say. I said them to Jinx. She's like, that's really bad. I'm like, yeah. And, well, I didn't go, yeah. I just kept going because I was really angry. That's not good. It's not good. You could keep things to yourself when you're angry. You can keep things to yourself because you can't control your thoughts. You can do better about it later on, but you can't control what you get right then and there, especially if you're in rage mode. But there's a difference between thoughts and actions. There really is. And so I can think something horrible, but it's a difference between typing it out or saying it or doing something about it than just having the thought. Because like, that's a terrible thought, and then move on from there. Because I'll give you an example of the current. That is in November, Hey Janque, or Hey, whatever his name is. This man did something that the entire science community was against, and he did it anyway. He did it through falsification, through lying, through just terrible things. He's morally bankrupt, ethically bankrupt. Just what the hell was he doing? What was he thinking? And he did it because he's a damn idiot. He edited the genes of 3 babies before they were born, so he edited their embryos. This is called messing with the germline. This is called playing God. This is called opening the door towards designer babies. This is called opening the door towards eugenics, towards very, very racist choices in making babies. This is the start, and this is something the science world has been against for decades. No one wanted to mess with the germline, and then this guy goes and does it. And he falsified a bunch of stuff. He went to people for advice, not asking directly for what he was doing. Just a lot of red flags happened that did not get called. And now we have three babies are out there in existence that have had their DNA edited. And it's possible he made them worse for it. It's possible that their DNA is going to make them more susceptible to diseases because he didn't know what the hell he was doing, and he didn't do it very well either. That is worrying. And so when I heard the news about this guy, when I read up on it, and I read up for hours on it, my initial thought about the man is I wanted him dead. I wanted him hung. I wanted to be able to see it. I wanted him gone. I wanted him to be an example. That is a terrible thought, and I actually said these things out loud to other people. That is not good. That is not good at all. But he did something that is unprecedented. Something that, holy crap. He should be held accountable for a lot. Being killed for it, it's a bit much, I suppose. But I said it to Jinx, and she's like, Jesus. You can't control your thoughts. You can be better about it. You can definitely be better about it, where, yeah, I should not be thinking that, but oh my god, as a biologist, as a scientist in general, just, that is crossing the line. That is crossing the line, and that's how the impulse I got. And other people have their lines. I said Vectors with another line. People have their lines. Like politics, people really, really hate Trump. People want to do great violence towards Trump. People just want to do terrible things towards him. Other people support him. All these things. Just all a bunch of things. I don't think it's a sin for thoughts. I think it's a sin for action, though. That's the thing, I suppose. Is the actions. And that is when you go after somebody and when you say words towards them, when you say threatened violence, or just say awful things because you're in the moral right you feel. And that's where we got to check ourselves, I think. A great many terrible things have been done because someone thought they were morally right. A great many terrible things were done because a group of people thought they were morally right. America has many examples of that. Moral superiority of the white man so that they could enslave another race. Moral superiority of Americans so they could manifest destiny, just take over the entire, well, the west part of the continent. They tried for Canada and Mexico. They did. They didn't get them. Of course, that was majorly white then as well. I don't want to just make it about anti-white, because there's other countries where, okay, you can go with Rwanda. There we go. Black on black. Rwanda, you had the Tutsis and the other group I don't remember anymore. One saw themselves as morally right, and they tried to genocide the other side. That's not good. That's not good at all, and that's terrible. And that's what moral superiority can lead to with a group, is they can go to the point where they think it's okay to straight up murder other people. That is the extreme edge, of course. I'm not saying outrage culture is going to lead to that. Well, it will for some people, considering that people do get attacked every day in this country for racist reasons, or for homophobic reasons, or for whatever other reason someone thinks they're morally better than someone else. They happen. Hell, the KKK is organized moral superiority. They thought they were better than everyone else. They thought the white race is better than the other races. There are photos of white men lynching black boys. And there's not one of them that feels remorse for it, that felt remorse for it back then. This is like, way back then. That feel anything for that. They felt moral superior. They felt they were in their right. And that is probably the scariest thing of all, is just how much trouble a person can do when they think they're right, when they think they're just. That is the scariest thing. And we're going to end the vlog there. Oh my god. End of all that thing. It's basically just check yourself when you think you're the good guy. Check yourself when you think you're good, but when you're in a situation where when you think you're the morally superior person, and how you conduct yourself with that. Are you being venomous? Are you just making fun of the situation? I'm fine with jokes. I'm fine with it's like how they do some dumb thing, you make a joke about it. That's perfectly fine. That is the part of people getting out their emotions that I'm okay with, just jokes about things, like making fun of something dumb or things like that. Sometimes they're jokes at my side's expense, of course, and I'm not a fan of it, but that's how it is. People using outlets. I think that's it. I'd rather humor be an outlet than hate be an outlet, than violence be an outlet, than just terrible things be the outlet. And moral superiority with humor, I'm fine with. Moral superiority with venom, I'm not fine with. So I guess I'm saying is there's a better avenue for moral superiority, and that is humor. Maybe a little smugness. Smugness ain't great, but maybe a little bit of that, whatever. But when it's used so negatively, that's the problem. That's something we should try to avoid. That's something we should try not to do. And outrage culture is one symptom of that. Of this horrible thing we can be capable of. Moral superiority is a symptom of a horrible thing we can do. It's just the center of it all, like I always say, is we could do better. There are some things you just cannot control. Like thoughts. That's the thing. I don't want to be thought police about this. That's the one thing. I don't want to be thought police. I think we can make ourselves better so that we don't think dumb things, we don't think awful things. But not in the moment, not then and there, but after. We can learn from what we've done, what we've thought, what we've said, and become better people. And that's the other thing I was railing about, is growth. If we're not allowed to grow, what is even the point? That's why I'm so mad about people getting outraged about things that happened in the past with people who have tried to redeem themselves since then. We can just do better. And you learn some terrible things about me. You learn some terrible things about Scarf. How do I have a viewership? I always use me as the example, so that I'm not being holier than thou. So I'm not talking out of my ass. So that's what happens. But by doing that, I show you worse and worse sides of me, I suppose, because I'm like, here's how I was a bad guy. But at the same time, I hope that's just by doing that you understand that you could be better, because I think I'm a better person now than I was back then. And I hope I keep becoming a better person. But I'm rambling at this point. So that right there is the vlog. basically, TLDR is just we can do better, and we can do better about how we do things and how we act and how we handle when we feel like we got the moral high ground. And just, will we use venom or not venom? So that right there is the vlog. I have fun talking. Hope you have fun watching and listening, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.